Some of you may be asking yourself, why should I even watch Super Media World? Well, the obvious answer is to see more of me, Hollywood Nick Manker. But another answer, I guess, would be so you can see accurate, on-the-point movie reviews done by someone who works at a real-life video store. That way you know they're extremely accurate because he rents movies all the time, so obviously he must know something about them. Because that's what he does for a living, is rents them. His movies are a living for him. Movies are also a living for me, because I'm in them. But I don't do the reviews. I just do the intros. I see you're interested in watching Megalodon. Here's what you need to know about the movie. But first, I just wanted to mention that not too long ago I was able to meet one of the stars of the film, Dominic Pace. He was in town doing an autograph signing to promote his role as Gecko the Bounty Hunter in the show The Mandalorian. We got to talk about his role as Gecko the Bounty Hunter, as well as his role in Megalodon. He was very friendly and told us a lot about his experiences in the industry, and it was a really good time. So I just want to say thanks to Dominic for visiting us, and we hope to see you again soon. Oh, and I'm also obligated to say Hollywood Nick is doing another signing from 1:30 to 1:55 this Saturday at Hollywood Nick's Videorama. We hope to see you there. And he also wants to say thanks to the people who came to his last signing. So thanks Jim, and thanks Sally. And I was the only other person there, but that's just because I was working. Oh, and thanks again Jim for taking care of that bug problem while we were there. I know you have a pretty busy schedule, so I'm glad you're able to fit us in. Anyway, on with Megalodon. This movie stars Dominic Pace, Amy Stolte, Ego Makitas, Caroline Harris, Helena Laurent, Scott C. Rowe, Sebastian Charmant, Elizabeth J. Cron, and Michael Madsen, who you may recognize from his role in Reservoir Dogs, as well as many other Quentin Tarantino movies. A Russian submarine is sent on a mission to drill into an underwater cable with hopes to steal international secrets. Unfortunately, the drilling noise attracts a Megalodon, which is a fancy word for a massive shark. The Megalodon takes a bite out of the sub, and the few remaining crew members are left stranded. Meanwhile, a U.S. Navy vessel notices some strange sonar activity, and they send a crew down to investigate. While the U.S. mini-sub is investigating, they are also attacked by the Megalodon. Now it's war between the naval ship and this giant underwater creature as they try to rescue their crew members and stay alive themselves amidst Megalodon attacks and the resistance from their Russian captives. Despite being low budget, the movie actually had some pretty decent acting in it, particularly Dominic Pace. You can tell he's serious about his role as Captain Streeper, and because of this, his character feels the most believable. The other actors really aren't too bad either, for the most part. Another thing I really liked about the film was the sets were somewhat believable. They don't really visit a lot of locations, but where they do go looks fairly authentic. And the final thing I liked about this film was they actually showed quite a bit of the Megalodon. Although it was kind of low budget CGI and does have some issues that I'll bring up later on, it was nice actually getting to see the shark throughout the film. You would think being such a low budget movie that it would cut out these scenes to save money, but I'm glad that they didn't and we actually got to see the shark in action. So one of the things right off the bat I noticed was there's a weird plot hole at the beginning of the film where the Megalodon takes a big chunk out of a sub, and somehow the crew knows that a giant shark is what attacked their ship. I'm not sure how they came to this conclusion since there's no windows for them to look out. And maybe it's just me, but it seems like the size of the Megalodon seems to change throughout the film. To me, it just doesn't look very consistent. The next thing I wanted to mention is there is a part where the Megalodon is attacking the Navy vessel, and it seems to have lost the fight. Then we see it right off the coast of Hawaii eating a small boat that's only manned by 2 people. And then it's back 1,000 miles away at the Navy vessel again. I'm not sure why it traveled back and forth, but Apparently that was crucial to the film. Alright, so the next one, there is a scene where the Megalodon is attacking the ship, and during this intense battle, in the background we see people casually walking around. And the last thing I wanted to mention about this movie is a doozy. The Admiral is totally unbelievable. He's got shaggy hair, his hands are covered in rings, and he's completely unprofessional. There's a scene in the movie where he's in an intense gunfight, and during the battle he just casually switches hands, because he's a cool admiral. The characters don't really have a lot of depth to them, but they are fairly likable and somewhat believable, and you really do root for them to win. Well, obviously, except for the bad guys. Not really. They leave things unanswered, one of which is whatever happened to Popov. The last time we saw her, she was tied up, but I guess we're supposed to assume what happens to her after that. The next question left unanswered is, as the movie progresses, there's only one person running the entire bridge and communications for the ship. So my question, I guess, is, where's the rest of the crew? And the last thing left unanswered, which I think is probably the most important, is, where does the Megalodon come from? It just kind of shows up and starts attacking people, but they don't ever explain where it came from in the first place. Was this giant shark just swimming around in the ocean this whole time and nobody ever noticed? There is a scene that looks like the Megalodons may be coming out of a cavern that was knocked loose, but they never really go into detail as to if this is actually the case. On to the fun facts about Megalodon. The Admiral's uniform and appearance is definitely not regulation, and the insignia on his hat is wrong. Speaking of insignias, Lynch's insignia is actually for a lieutenant, not a commander. And the Navy would never wear camo in the middle of the ocean. The film could have appeared a little more authentic if they would have paid attention to these details. The movie was filmed on the SS Lane Victory, a retired Navy ship that's now a museum. You can see some indication of this throughout the film and tiny little flub-ups. And the last fun fact is, if you would have went to see the hit movie The Meg on its opening weekend, then you could have tuned in the following Monday to the Sci-Fi Channel to see Megalodon as it premiered. It would have made for quite a fishy weekend. I never said I was good with jokes. So if you like movies about super big sharks and battles and explosions and the Navy and Russians and salt water, then you should see The Megalodon today by renting it from Hollywood Nick's Videorama.